My current guest is a trend forecaster who believes that current events form future trends. So with respect to the U.S. economy, what is to come today, tomorrow, and in the years ahead? Joining me now, once again, to talk more about this topic is Gerald Celente, founder of the Trends Research Institute and publisher of the Trends Journal. Thank you for joining me.
Oh, my pleasure.
I'd like to begin by talking about the Treasury Department. They've decided to extend bailout funds to a number of struggling life insurance policies. Now, this is in addition to the auto industry and the banks. Do you think Americans are aware of what's going on?
Yeah, they know about it. It's a new trend. America is going from what used to be the major capitalistic country in the world, the free market crusader, into what Mussolini would have called fascism, the merger of state and corporate powers. So it's not socialism as people believe it is. Socialism's egalitarianism. And it's not communism where it's state-controlled monopolies. It's fascism, plain and simple. The merger of corporate and government powers. State-controlled capitalism is called fascism. And fascism has come to America in broad daylight. But they're feeding it in little bits and pieces. First, AIG was too big to fail. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, a mortgage company, too big to fail. Banks, too big to fail. Auto companies, too big to fail. Now we're giving money to the people that make the auto parts. And now there's talk about the technology companies wanting their piece of the action. The merger of state and government is called fascism. Take it from Mussolini. He knew a thing or two about it.
What can Americans do if they are opposed to the road that the government officials are bringing us down?
Well, the people really don't have a choice. There is no ballot box. You know, I'm of Italian descent, and I've heard enough mafia stories for the rest of my life. If you want to look at a mafia, you could call it the Republican and Democratic Party. And if you want to look at the two families, the heads of the mafia, all you have to do is look at the Bushes and the Clintons. They've been running the show now for some 24 years. We heard about Obama. He was going to bring in change. Yeah, change you could believe in. Yeah, change you could believe in if he's dumb, stupid, and blind. Look who he's brought in as his chief policymakers. Retreads from the old Clinton administration. It's a two-headed, one-party system. So it's very difficult for the people to vote in a new administration that isn't part of the old one.
Can you tell me one thing that you like about President Obama?
In a Trends Journal, the top trends of 2009, one of our trends was that people were going to be putting out recession gardens. And now, as we're seeing the Obamas, they're planting their own garden, and that trend is taking hold. So he's doing that in positive ways. He's bringing an element of dignity back to society. Those are positives. But now let me look at whether it's true or the hypocrisy. So they're talking about planting their own gardens. And they're talking about buying local. Oh, all that is wonderful. But on the other side of the coin, they're pushing genetically modified foods while they're eating organic. So it's like, let them eat frankenfoods, is the message. So I see hypocrisy at every level. When they show me truth and justice and the real American way, then I'll believe.
If I revert to our previous interview, I asked you what kind of revolution do you think would happen, and when would it happen, why would it happen? You said there would be a tax revolt. And now we're hearing more and more about these tea parties. What do you make of that? Do you think that that's just the first action in many actions to follow from the American public?
There's going to be a lot more. This is just the beginning. As the Bronx boy, my saying is, when people lose everything and they have nothing left to lose, they lose it. You're going to start seeing people taking to the streets like they do in other countries. People have had it. They're fed up. They can't afford it anymore. Look what's going on. 10 major states are raising taxes again as people are losing their jobs, income is going down, they're losing their pensions, they're losing their investments, and the government is saying, more taxes, more taxes, more taxes. At the same time, what's happening is, on the top, they're changing the regulations so the thieves could steal more, just as they did with the new Banking Act. They call it mark-to-market. So what it is now allowing them to do, rather than